pickle. Hit the air raid siren sign for Monday Morning Fallout. It's Monday Morning Fallout, when we overreact to the football weekend, and plenty to overreact to on a big Week 7 of the 2024 Texas high school football season. We'll start with my opening kick. My opening kick, the most wide-open 6A in years. I think, obviously, all eyes this past week were on I-20 with DeSoto and Duncanville, with Duncanville coming away with a resounding statement-making victory over DeSoto. And it lived up to the hype. Torian Moore was absolutely ridiculous in this game. And it was a total scene there in DeSoto. And coming off of that game, I think you would be within your rights to say, hey, Duncanville, certainly looking the part of the number one team in Class 6A. And yet, as I thought about it over the weekend, the nagging thought in the back of my head was, I don't know that there is a clear favorite in any of the 6A brackets this year.
Yeah.
In either 6A D1 or 6A D2. For 6A D1, obviously Duncanville is going to 6A Division 1 bracket, assuming they make the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, they'll go to the 6A Division 1 bracket, and they will be on that short list of contenders. But so will Atascocita. Mm-hmm. So will Galena Park North Shore. So will North Crowley, right? So will Lake Travis. So will Allen, right? I think there is, when you take a look at 6A Division 1, a variety of different contenders there that could make that big move. And then when you look at 6A Division 2, you're thinking, okay, well, DeSoto, yes, they have the 2 losses on the year, but they're both the 6A Division 1 teams, and they're state ranked and stuff. Nothing to worry about with DeSoto. And I agree. But I also think that when you take a look at the 6A Division 2 bracket and the way that it's shaping up, DeSoto, of course, will be on that short list. So will Humble Summer Creek. So will potentially Austin Westlake. They can go Division 1 or Division 2. So will South Lake Carroll. Right? So will Cibolo Steel. So will Katy. They could go either way as well. I think that for the first time in years, we are going into the 6A playoffs without an idea of how it's going to end. And in the past few years, we've had this kind of thought of, oh, we're definitely heading for North Shore Duncanville. Last year, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you would have been stunned if DeSoto didn't make the title game last year.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely gobsmacked if they hadn't made the title game last year. I think we are in for the most unpredictable 6A playoffs that we've had in quite a few years. And I think that's exciting.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's good for the sport. We may end up with 2 title game rematches. Mm-hmm. There's a good chance that we do. But I do think that the path to Arlington in 6A has never been more unpredictable. And I think that that's really exciting for the sport. Game of the week.
You hear about this, Kev?
Cherokee's 99, Marble Falls Faith 93.
And let's be honest, this is an 11-man game.
No, it's not.
It's not?
It's a 6-man
I thought
game.
it was.
No, Cherokee's a 6-man team. But anytime you get almost 200 combined points, you're going to get my attention. This game, now Marble Falls Faith is a private school 6-man team that has done this before. They are a high-scoring offense and a bit of a devil-may-care defense. Cherokee's the interesting one. Cherokee's really fascinating because you remember last week they took their first loss of the year to Benjamin, and they followed it up with a wild shootout with Marble Falls Faith. Remember, last week Cherokee was the team that played, they played Benjamin, and I want to say Benjamin got into the hundreds. Yeah, they've played back-to-back games that finished 106-88 and 99-93.
Goodness.
So Cherokee's got a type. They've got a type. They come out with a win in this one. Anytime you get to close to 200 points, you're just going to be my game of the week. Let's go to my play of the week. This was sent to me by our friends at the Texas Private School Media. He tweeted it to me, and I quickly said, well, I'm done looking for my play of the week. Here is Enzo Bingham, the outstanding wide receiver for Plano Prestonwood, doing what we can only describe as his best Odell Beckham Jr. impression.
Number 2 gets the ball at the hard line.
Okay. Did you see the DB that was covering him? He just got up and he just like put his hands on his hips like,
He's like, I don't know, coach. What am I supposed to do?
Like, at some point you just go like, well, you just did that.
Yep. Like, there's nothing else I can do.
Enzo Bingham with an unbelievable catch. Full extension, hauling that bad boy in one-handed. One of the plays of the year there. Enzo Bingham from Plano Prestonwood hauling in an unbelievable catch in their game this past week against Parish Episcopal. And Parish Episcopal? Argyle Liberty Christian. An unbelievable performance in Plano Prestonwood. Enzo Bingham gets my play.
Yeah, and he's doing
week.
that against a DB that's playing for a state-ranked
Yeah, the number
team.
2 team in the state. Pretty good. Time for my Dudes Rock Dude of the Week. Hashtag Dudes Rock. And every week we will honor a dude who rocked. And let's go to Huffman Hargrave, where Huffman Hargrave quarterback Nolan Cook. I'll say this again.
Sorry,
Nolan Cook.
He cooked.
He goes 20 of 27 for 336 yards and 5 touchdowns passing. He carried the ball 10 times for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground in Huffman Hargrave's big win over Vider, which was live on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. Was that Trevor on the call?
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Bullard on the call for Huffman Hargrave's big win, and he got to see Nolan Cook on for Huffman Hargrave. He is my Dudes Rock Dude of the Week. Pickle, I know you don't want to talk about the NFL right now. I know, I understand that, but we will not talk about the Cowboys. We will instead focus on the other like inside information, the deep dive, the kind of insider information that you only come to Texas Football Today for, as we roll out the NFL Minute with our chief NFL insider, my mom.
Hi, this is Stepp Mom reporting the NFL Minute for this week. San Francisco beat Seattle 36-24 on Thursday night. These players played for San Francisco and also played Texas high school football. Linebacker D. Winters went to Burton High School. Defensive lineman Jordan Elliott went to Houston Westside High School. Offensive tackle Trent Williams went to Longview High School. Running back Patrick Taylor went to Atascocita High School. And finally, defensive lineman Spencer Buford went to San Antonio Wagner. That's it for this week. See ya.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks as always to our chief NFL correspondent, my mom.
That's an NFL update that I can stomach.
Like it's the kind of thing, like the NFL world moves so fast, right? It's hard to keep up. I'm just glad that we have an NFL insider who
can really keep her thumb on the pulse.
She eats, sleeps, and breathes this stuff.
Yep.
I think you can tell in her report. Thanks, Mom. Stock up, Brian Rudder. We're going to talk with our head coach, Eric Izar, coming up here in just a moment. 6-0 for the first time in program history. There's some debate. I got into a cordial disagreement with somebody from down there about this. Back in like 2021, some people have them listed at 7-4. We have them listed at 6-4. Mm-hmm. I think there's like a forfeit that I think that's where this kind of comes up. All this is to say, I am comfortable saying this. This is the best Brian Rudder team in program history. And a win over Waco University was really, really impressive.
That was back when Izar's son was the quarterback, I think. Mm-hmm. I went down and covered their game against Montgomery.
This team is playing exceptionally well, and you do not beat a team like Waco University by accident. I'm excited to talk with Coach Eric Izar coming in a moment because their stock is way, way up. Stock down. Let's talk about Pottsboro. What? So last week, they take on Palmer. Now, Palmer is a good team, 5-2 on the year. They lose 55-34. I will tell you that I think this was a bit of like defensive chickens come home to roost issue for Pottsboro.
Yeah.
They have been kind of skating by, giving up in the 30s offensively. They're now averaging giving up 30 points per game. And this week they just kind of couldn't outscore it. Like Palmer was able to get some stops. This is now, I mean, if Palmer continues to roll on, and look, they're going to be favored in the rest of their games. If Palmer beats Whitesboro this week, then they're going to be the clear favorite to win the district. Then you're talking about a second seed Pottsboro team, which could really shake up the bracket there in 3A Division 1. Kind of surprising there. I'm monitoring it. I'm monitoring what's going on at Pottsboro because I thought that the defensive performance there left a little something to be desired. It's time for the Matt Stepp. He got that dog in him player of the week. It's Canadian Thanksgiving, but Matt Stepp thankfully filed this report before he got on a plane to hand out the Matt Stepp. He got that dog in him player of the week.
And now, the Matt Stepp. He got that dog in him. Player of the week.
Hey y'all, Matt Stepp with Dave Campbell's Texas Football here at DFW Airport as I'm flying to Canada for Thanksgiving. But before I leave the country and enjoy some good Thanksgiving cooking, it's time to bring you the Week 7 Matt Stepp. He got that dog in him award. And the winner of this week's Matt Stepp, He got that dog in him award is none other than Palestine Westwood quarterback Kavian Bryant. His talented sophomore and Thursday night's 63-14 win over Crockett threw for 314 yards and 6 touchdowns and added 98 yards rushing in just over 2 quarters of action. Congrats, Kavian. You, sir, have got that dog in you.
This has been the Matt Stepp He Got That Dog in Him Player of the Week.
Thank you, Matthew. Enjoy Canadian Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you later today for Tep and Step. I'm going to make him work on Canadian Thanksgiving.
Can you imagine sitting down at the airport with no context, and there's this guy
Backwards hat.
recording himself talking about somebody having that dog in him? I hope someone was able to enjoy that.
I hope so, too. Here's my final kick, I think it's called, right? Final shot.
Final
Whatever.
shot.
I don't know.
Did you want to kick a game-winning field goal?
No.
That's a lot of pressure.
Did you see the Cowboys kick the field goal when they were down like 34 yesterday?
Can you stop?
It's time to check enrollments. Every other year we have UIL realignment, and we all pay attention to I think the way that we all process realignment kind of goes in like a cone fashion, in the sense that like we do like the wide big picture stuff first. Oh my gosh, Port Neches Groves moved over to Region 2. Oh my gosh, DeSoto opted up to 6A. Big picture stuff. Then you narrow it down, you start looking at districts, right? Maybe you start looking at like regional things, stuff like that, by district matchups, smaller and smaller. We're getting to the point now in the season where it is important to start paying attention to perhaps the most granular part of it, which is enrollments. Mm-hmm. Because there are a couple of teams who are on that bubble of going 6A Division 1 or 6A Division 2, depending on what other teams get into the playoffs. So, for example, keep an eye on Austin Westlake. Austin Westlake is a team that can go either way. If Austin Bowie makes the playoffs, they will go to the Division 2 bracket. But if Austin High makes the playoffs, they will go to the Division 1 bracket. Okay? Something like that. Katy is another team that I believe is kind of on the bubble here. They're a team that if Tompkins and Jordan get in, then they will go to the Division 1 bracket, which is probably not where they want to go because they'd have to run to Atascocita and North Shore. But if Cinco Ranch gets in, is that right? Yeah, if Cinco Ranch gets in, then they would go to the Division 2 bracket. So it is now time to start dusting off those enrollment data and figuring out which teams are going to go where and what games are going to start mattering. We joke around with Craig Way on High School Scoreboard Live about this, that like he will go into this long explanation of like how these things go out. Mm-hmm. But it's time to start like focusing in on these granular details because they're going to be the kind of things that help to shape the playoff brackets, which will roll out, by the way, in 4 weeks.
That's insane. That's crazy.
It's my final shot. It's Monday Morning Follow-Up.